Welcome, friends, family, students, and viewers to Grappling Grace, another great episode. I have an amazing guest. This is the podcast where men find health, hope, and healing through becoming the best version of themselves, hearing stories of overcoming, of redemption, spiritually, mentally, physically, and emotionally, overcoming those obstacles to become the best version of yourself. Today, I have an amazing guest, my brother. I actually married him and his wife, the Hawaiian Assassin, Pono Pao. So, Pono, before we get started, I'm gonna read your bio. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. So, the Hawaiian Assassin.
There you go. The DA.
Today's guest, the DA, right? Widely known in the combat sports world as the Hawaiian Assassin, a powerhouse competitor in professional slap fighting. Pono fights in the heavyweight division and has rapidly risen to prominence in power slap competition. Born and raised in Honolulu, Hawaii, Pono brings island grit and an unwavering competitive spirit to every stage. Standing 6'1" and fighting at approximately 265 pounds, he's built a reputation as one of the sport's most exciting and resilient heavyweight competitors. Pono made his mark on season 3 of Power Slap Road to the Title, where his toughness and tactical striking drew attention from fans and peers alike. After competing on the show, he quickly climbed the rankings and now sits comfortably among the top five heavyweights in the
Top
world.
5.
Amazing.
Yep, I'm ranked number 5.
A testament to his dedication, skill, and competitive drive. But more than a fighter, Pono's journey is one of transformation and purpose. Along the way, he's faced and overcome real-world challenges, including mental health struggles, addiction, personal adversity, experience that have forged his discipline and grounded his identity beyond the sport. Today, he competes not just for titles, but to inspire others, uplift his community, and lead further athletes with integrity and faith. Whether he's stepping on the power slap stage, mentoring others, or sharing his story, Pono represents resilience, authenticity, and relentless growth, a true embodiment of the warrior spirit. My brother, welcome.
I love it.
Welcome.
I love it.
Welcome. Let's get
One of
started.
the best intros I've ever had.
Let's get started. Opening. Let's start with this, Pono. Before the rankings, before the nickname, who was Little Pono?
A boy from Hawaii, loved the beach, real brooded, right? Flip-flops,
Yeah.
surf shorts, tank top everywhere. Didn't have the grooming going on. Very, very cavemanish, but yeah, I mean, just an island boy just trying to figure out his way in life.
What was the childhood like?
My
Let me ask you this.
Go ahead.
What is, if I ask you, Pono, give me the best memory of being a kid. What was that like to you? What is that? What does that look like?
I would say my best memory of being a child is that my mom them would always try to make sure that we were good, solid, and taken care of the whole entire time. I mean, just like a parent should.
Yeah.
And I've had so much experiences with like family,
Yeah.
my brother, my sister.
Yeah.
I come from a small family.
Yeah.
I have 2 older brothers.
Hawaii, small family? That's unheard of.
I mean, you got cousins, you got uncles, you got aunties, but like just the tight knit.
Yeah.
My 2 older brothers, my older sister, and I'm the baby out of the group, and that's really like my childhood memories are. We used to have big parties,
Yeah.
family parties, luau's, all in the back of our house. People would come over, people would gather, and that was probably like a staple for me.
That's good.
Just seeing that you just have that like that kind of community and love from all the people that are living.
Community is everything. Community is everything. I can when I do counseling with people, and one of the first things I ask them is I'll ask them that question in some form or fashion. And usually, if you had community or you didn't have community, if you had a good community or a bad community, will determine greatly the person you become. 100%. Where did the nickname the Hawaiian Assassin come from, and who were you when that name was created?
So I've always liked the thought of the assassin.
Yeah.
Right, the guy that's really silent in the background, isn't really loud, but can get the job done.
Yeah.
And nobody actually gave me that name. I was in love with it.
Yeah.
I love the fact that this is what I needed to kind of embody to get into this sport,
Right.
is to be the assassin, to be the guy in the background, kind of quiet, cool, collected, all the way to that point to when you get to the stage and you do everything else, and then
So was that
It's time to take the guy out.
was that kind of like, so like before you become the world champion, you call yourself world champion, like you had already forged that in your head, like this is who I am, this is who, and then you started walking in it.
I heard a song from King Slay, and it's called the Hawaiian
There you
Assassin.
go. Okay.
And I would play that over and over and over, and I realized that like it was like Modern Warfare
Yeah.
2, right? They
Yes, yes.
talking about the guns and coming out there and and just being that assassin.
All right.
And I mean, I fell in love with it, and I was like, okay,
Close
this
your
is
eyes.
my name.
Close your eyes. Close your eyes. Right.
Yes, sir.
I want you to share this feeling with you. Your eyes are being closed. You're getting ready to walk out. You hear your name called, the Hawaiian Assassin.
Mhm.
What happens inside of you? What's that feeling? What is it bringing up inside of you as you're about to walk out and go into battle? What is that feeling like?
I get of like instant jolt of energy.
Yeah.
I can visualize crowd, people that are around me. I know already that I've made my mark.
Yeah.
At that point, hearing my name being called like that, hearing my name being shouted out, and I'm just ready to kind of complete that process,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Make what my thoughts and my ideas
Yeah.
become reality.
Does that transform you into like getting prepared to, like, when you hear that name, you're stepping into that and you're ready to go to battle?
It does, yeah.
Yeah.
I put my suit on.
So let me ask you this question, a little deep question here is, that name, the Hawaiian Assassin, is that name armor for you or is that identity?
It is armor,
Yeah.
yeah, because it's not my true
I
identity.
love that. I love that.
It's
I
my
love that.
armor.
So who were you trying to become when you first stepped into combat sports? I mean, you've always been a part of combat sports. You worked there, you've done all that stuff, you've
Mhm.
trained, but who were you trying to become when you knew this was going to be something that you wanted to do as far as power slap is concerned?
I saw the door open to something where everybody in Hawaii, young boy,
Yeah.
grown men, they want to be a part of the UFC.
Really? Is that's the culture there?
Pretty much.
Okay,
I mean, you
okay.
got Max Holloway, Yancy Medeiros.
Sure.
You got all these people that are very locked into either boxing, some kind of
Yeah.
art.
Yeah. Let me ask you this question,
Yeah.
because I've heard it from a lot of people. You grew up in Hawaii, you grew up fighting, right? Like that's just part of the culture, right?
Yeah.
You're just fighting. So
Mhm.
everybody in some form or fashion, whether you have beef with someone or not, you're just fighting all the time. Is that true? Is that safe to say?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say that. Yeah, but I mean, there's a lot of parts where there's what we would say aloha, right?
Yeah.
The people that care about each other,
Sure.
love each other, we pour into each other.
Yeah.
But majority of the time, it's arguments. You're gonna get into some beefs,
Right?
and it's so different because it's the beef where we have a problem now. We hash it out.
Yeah.
We drink, we party. Next week, if we got a problem again, it
Right.
comes right back.
Yeah.
And there's no part where it's really bad. It's it's still continued on that you.
So look,
that
you and I,
run
we
into it.
and I both have a past, right? We both understand how a beef can grow into something else.
Mhm.
I think more people need to understand stuff like that where it doesn't need to escalate, right? You have a problem with somebody, all right, let's just box or let's get down real quick, and then let me help you up or you help me up whoever gets knocked down, and let's go get a drink, right? And then I remember being a young kid and getting to fights in school, and those guys that I fought ended up becoming like really good friends of mine because
Mhm.
you have a little bit more respect for that person. They have respect for you. Would you say that's the case in Hawaii then?
Yes.
too?
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. A respect amongst competition.
Yeah,
Right. It's like, oh, these guys, they tested your skill. Now you know that where they stand.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
There's a
so,
good
so
position.
I have this. Andy would probably like this. Our producer back there. So I have this philosophy. Like when we go to parties and there's kids and kids fight, or kids argue. I let kids fight in parties, like at birthday parties or different cousins. I tell people, let them fight. This is why they get into a fight and the pecking order ensues. After the first fight, everybody's gonna be cool because everybody knows where they stand.
Mhm.
I think arguments happen because people are trying to find their way in life, their position in life, right? Like when you're in jail, right? You have to know the pecking order. Sometimes there's an argument, the pecking order maybe get changed a little bit, but once the pecking order is in alignment, it's pretty much cool, right?
Yes.
Was that the same kind of thing over there? Like there's just a pecking order, you're trying to
Yes.
find your way in the pecking
Yeah.
order.
Of course. Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of almost like chain of command.
Yeah, exactly. So Pono, when you were younger, did you feel seen or were you fighting to be seen?
Fighting to be seen.
Yeah, because you were the baby.
Not so much of the baby. I always felt like I had something to prove
Ah, okay.
all the time, and it was because I probably wasn't the most popular kid in school. Always looking for people to like me
Sure.
or
Were you looking for validation?
validation.
Sure.
Validation. Just trying to find who I was inside as a
Yeah.
person, while going through the lessons and figuring out
Yeah.
what's happening.
It's always when did you figure that out?
I'm
Still,
It's still a process, brother. It's still a process. It wouldn't be life if it wasn't learning, right? You
Right?
got to learn at every corner. So
Oh man, that's you know what was crazy? I was me and my my boys and they're my best friends. We talk all the time, and I'm so open with them, and especially when I went through my addiction and my mental health stuff, and they were right there with me, you know. And not too long ago, my oldest 100 goes, Dad, when you get older, you don't really have it all together, do you? And I was like, fuck no, you don't.
You
You
don't.
don't. I go, let me tell you the problem as a kid that I had. When I was little, I couldn't wait to get older because I thought if I can get older, I can have it all together. Right? Because our parents did a good job of, like you said, your mom took care of you, but we don't know the struggles unless you see the struggles, right?
correct.
And so being open with my kids now and just realizing, just like you said, like, man, there's always going to be something. Just try to become the best version of yourself and things will work out, right?
Mhm.
Find your identity, walk in your purpose, follow God. All these things are happening. But I'll never forget that conversation we had where there was like a light bulb went on in both my son's eyes in their brain was like, yeah, you just gotta every day work on it. I go, "Hey, Pop, yeah, it never every day. And then when you think you got it, don't make that mistake because something else is gonna happen.
Of
And
course.
so yeah, that's good. That's good that we're on that
Yeah,
track.
it's always changing.
Yeah, constantly, right? So let's delve into something a little bit deeper here, right? Let's talk about some mental health stuff, okay?
Mhm.
So you've been open about mental health struggles. What was your lowest point?
Going through all the addictions.
Yeah.
Yeah, really trying to cope with what was going on in my life at the time. So, kind of diving back
Yeah.
is that. So I talked about family,
Yeah.
and I was adopted at a very young age,
Yeah.
probably 1 year old, by my aunt and my uncle,
Yes.
and I lived my whole life with them. So when we talked about having a big family,
Yeah.
you're 100% correct.
Yeah.
I come from a family of 9.
Yeah.
There's 9 siblings in my real family, and then I've lived all my life with my aunt and my uncle
Yeah.
the whole entire time, and I didn't find out that I was adopted until I probably was like 10 or 11 years old.
Did you find out on accident or they told you?
So my sister kind of just blurted out, "Hey, this is that's not your mom, that's not your dad. This is your real mom. This is your real
What
dad."
was that like for you?
I mean, at the time, I'm still young,
Yeah.
so I can't accept it
Right.
for what the truth is.
Sure, yeah.
But it kind of just made me really rebellious,
Yeah.
and I just didn't like these people that I've called my mom and my
Yeah.
dad the whole entire time.
Did you feel betrayed or lied to or
I felt abandoned.
really? Yeah.
My real mom, my real dad. Why? I've come from a family of 9.
Yeah.
I'm number 6.
Yeah.
My mom had 3 kids after me.
Yeah.
Why is it the part where I was the one
Yeah.
that had to leave the
Why,
family?
why me? Why
Right.
Me? Yeah.
And then I've slowly I find out more information as we progress and go along that like my mom was going through health issues.
Yeah.
The mom that I currently stay with now,
Yeah.
she's going through health issues. Had a hysterectomy, couldn't have any more kids, and sisters had the agreement of like, okay, well, I have abundance.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have more
you
than
step
enough
in.
kids, right?
Yeah.
We don't have TVs in our house.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the blessing is to kind of give you a life that
Yeah.
you can't create your own.
So now you look at it differently, right?
The way, because now I'm an adult,
Yeah.
so I can understand it a little bit different, and I can. Before it was anger, aggression,
Sure.
violence, just really being mad at life.
Was that understanding of as a kid with that feeling? I'm just gonna step into that feeling where you said you felt abandoned, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because that was your truth. You felt abandoned at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Would you say that was the start of a rebellion and getting into everything else? That was the start?
Yeah, that's where childhood turned from the kid that collect Pokemon cards
Sure.
and marbles and
Yeah.
pogs, and I just kind of was the cool kid, like, oh,
Yeah.
he's always got something going
Yeah.
on with him, right? And my mom made sure that I was that person.
Yeah.
For all the kids would come over to my house, and my mom worked park and recreation, so we had a giant jungle gym
Oh, nice.
and trampolines.
So the kids were always at the pad.
They would come to the house. We would have full-on wrestling matches. That it was just a spot to be. And once you find out what the truth is,
Yeah.
then I start clicking and I'm like, okay, well, this life is all fake.
Yeah.
Whatever's going on over here is not real.
Yeah.
And then searching for answers, but not really searching for answers.
Sure.
Right. And that turned into me being that kid that just wanted to run away all the time.
When we talk about addiction, what is it that you were trying to numb? Was it just the pain of feeling abandoned, or was it something else?
It was the pain. It was the pain of not understanding why
Yeah.
I was the one.
Yeah.
Because originally my sister Hoku, she's my older sister. She was supposed to be the one that was going to be, gifted, adopted.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And put into this family. And then it transitioned to becoming me after their long talks or whatever
Sure.
it may be. And I'm never going to know the full details
Sure.
of this information, just because of the fact that in the Hawaiian culture, we don't talk about stuff.
Yeah.
We don't confront things.
Yeah.
It's very, once something happens, we bury it.
Yeah.
We bury it. We
Welcome
put
to the
it away.
Hispanic culture too.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, and we just bury everything away, so that way we don't have to talk about this anymore. Now we just kind of move on and kind of flow through life. But with that happening,
In 20 years, that thing comes up, right?
I
Like
mean,
a volcano.
and then you start getting into all the criminal stuff. That's where my first real lying, stealing,
Yeah.
just hate
Yeah.
for people.
Trying to survive, trying to maybe find love someplace that, right?
That's it.
Yeah. So at this time, what lie did you believe about yourself? What lies did you believe about yourself?
Man, that's a good question. I wouldn't be able to tell you.
Yeah. Yeah. Something to think about, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
something. Yeah, that's
For-
something deep.
For me, when I got molested, and then I think now, like the lie I believed about myself was that I deserved it. Like for some reason, like, well, it keeps happening over and over again. And then even allowing it to happen,
Mm.
like because feeling just so worthless, right? Feeling so worthless, just feeling like, oh, is it happening to my brother? Is it just me? Okay, I deserve it. And then acting out, so stealing and all these things as a kid, and then when that would happen to me, realizing or believing like, well, this is happening to me because I'm a bad kid, right?
Mhm.
That's one of the lies I believed in myself. I believed that lie for years into my 30s.
I actually agree with that.
Yeah.
Now that you say that,
Right?
That
Yeah.
that I was just always a bad kid.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just
Did you get called a bad kid? Were they like when?
Yes.
Yeah. See, I had this.
Yes.
This is what happens, right? After a while, when things start happening to us, they don't ask you, how do you feel about this, right? They just
Mhm.
be thankful somebody loves you, whatever, right? Same thing with me. I didn't share that, and so I start acting up, and all of a sudden, what's worse is when your family, people in your family, you're just a bad kid. Your brother's the good one,
Right.
and then after a while, you know what? All right, motherfucker, I'm gonna be the bad kid now. I'm
course.
gonna step into that.
Yeah.
You keep saying that, and then it just becomes a vicious, right? Then you have to be the baddest kid in the class, baddest kid in school, baddest kid in the neighborhood, right? And it's just that vicious cycle. That vicious cycle. Did success fix anything for you, or did it expose things? Once you started getting success, did it fix anything in your life, or did it just expose things?
Honestly, it exposed things. It opened up doors that I didn't want to open, and made me to the point where you have to accept it.
Yeah.
There's a part where you have to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
And you have to tell your truths, and you have to get out there, and you have to voice it.
When you start experiencing success, it's like your life is an open book now, right? Even more so, right? And people come out of, oh, I know him, and this happened, and like all these things start to happen, right? When you get some success, right?
Mhm, yeah. And when I fell into this, it wasn't like a lot of the people that were coming out were saying bad things about me. They would say good things, but sitting there and realizing that I wasn't doing good things.
Yeah.
And it clicked. And I was like, man, I really was. I was on a rampage.
Yeah.
When I was a kid in teenage years.
Did you were you experiencing? Because I had I laugh at myself now, but I had like an alter ego, right? Pepper Brooks for years. Like I can't change my Facebook. My Facebook still says Pepper Brooks, but for the longest time,
right. Yeah. Once you nickname
Bro,
yourself, it's done.
bro,
It's
so I had
you have to live in that
and
identity.
that was an alter ego. Like that was like I was Pepper Brooks. That was the mask I would put on. So I was like the craziest, did the most drugs, didn't care. I would shoot you. Like I was that guy,
Mm-hmm.
but I was inside. I was a little fat kid that got molested, and I was like, that's just never happening to you again. Let's go. And I'm taking care of my adult self. So I have a little kid running my adult body. And I have this Pepper Brooks persona where people didn't even know me as like, if you call me this, I'm like, you don't know me. That's not my name. My name is Pepper Brooks or Professor, right?
Right, right,
And
right.
so were you? So I was like,
It's funny you say that because at a point in time I was like, dude, do I call this guy Pepper Brooks? and then I realized I was like, no, his name is Elias.
Yeah, Marissa's not
and
gonna,
we give him his first name.
Marissa's
We don't,
not gonna
yeah,
call me that.
we don't do
Elias.
Pepper Brooks. Yeah,
But if whenever your lady calls me Elias, I'm in trouble. Like, I know I'm in trouble.
yeah. First name, last name is like it's going down a bad road, right?
Would you say that you were building like this false persona
Yes.
about you, like to maybe not even to hide, but just to protect?
To compensate for what I believed that was already going on in my life.
Yeah.
It was, like I said, I wasn't the popular kid in school.
Yeah.
I was the fat chunky kid.
Yeah.
I didn't have a lot of friends. I wasn't exposed to a lot of the things that I thought was the right things,
Yeah.
right? And even with like the family stuff, like, I mean, earlier stages, you get a lot of love and all this stuff
Sure.
that's going on. And then, man, you turn 11 years old, 12 years old, you start seeing things that happen around the house, right?
Become more aware.
Stuff that was awareness,
Yeah.
things that were behind closed doors, things that weren't put out in front of the kids. You know what I mean? It's like a lot of domestic violence, a lot of abuse, things happening around me. And then, you know, what they say about, you know, being a product of your environment,
100%. Yeah.
it was real.
Yeah.
It was so real. And it kind of started to flow through me.
Yeah.
You know, that's who I am.
When I got married, I'm like, nobody gave me that. Like, nobody brought me to the corner and said, hey, here's the marriage book. Nobody gave me that book, right?
The
And-
guide.
Yeah, nobody gave me that, right? And with my first marriage, I learned really the hard way, because all I had to go on was the people that were in my life, that there was toxicity,
Mm-hmm.
there was DV, there was, right? And again, in Hispanic families and Hispanic households, you don't talk about it,
Mm-hmm.
right? But when the kid sees it, who do they talk to? They don't share it or relieve it, that stress in some form, so they just keep it inside. And then when you get older, you get married, or you have a girlfriend or a boyfriend, you only know what to do by what you saw in the past, right? Like, as much as you know it's wrong, it's like, well, I saw that, so I'm going to do this,
Mm-hmm.
right? And one of the biggest mistakes I made in my marriage was that I didn't learn how to better myself, right? I didn't start doing like self-development until like my late 30s, until I realized, wait a minute, no one's gonna get me better. I have to get myself better by right. And then I started getting into leadership and neuroscience, all this stuff. But man, I look back and I wish I could go back and like whip 21-year-old Elias's ass, because I did everything wrong everything that I could have done wrong, I did wrong in my marriage. You know, and it was horrible. And I had a girl that loved me, that had trauma of her own,
Mm-hmm.
you know, but I didn't know how to communicate, right? I didn't know how to communicate. Growing up in a Hispanic household, like, I'm the man, you're gonna do it this way, instead of like working with her, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
did you experience any of that early on in your marriage?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just like that, where it's you see examples
Yeah.
of how a marriage or how it is, right? Seeing my mom, seeing my dad, them, how they, you know, react to certain things. And I'm not gonna lie, my dad was a heavy alcoholic. And, you know, the times when doors were closed, who knows what was going on behind there. And it's not my position to put that out into light.
Sure. Yeah,
It's,
of
you know,
course.
it's my dad. And I know that his deeper feelings, deeper emotions is that he just cared.
Yeah.
He tried to help us out as much as possible
Yeah.
with the struggles of life and the struggles of finding out who you are.
Yeah. I don't believe
Navigating it.
any dad, I really believe no dad starts off and says, I want to be an asshole to my wife or to my kids. It's just, as we get older, right, we have this certain idea of what adulthood is, and then we realize, wait a minute, this is not what I thought adult was going to be. Now, if we don't deal with our own traumas or our own problems or issues, now that's why one of my ministries is like helping young men find health, hope, and healing through becoming the best versions of themselves, mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually. Because if I can heal broken boys, they don't become broken husbands, broken uncles,
Right.
broken dads, broken.
You stop the cycle
Yeah.
before it starts to
Because what happens is
progress.
that stuff compounds. If you're broken and you get married, you're gonna have a broken marriage, right? You're gonna be a broken dad, and it's like. But here's the problem, right? People get married and think, well, our problems are gonna, right? I see this all the time when I do counseling with people, like have a couple that's real toxic for each other, and then they say,
Right.
we're gonna get married and things are gonna get better. No, that's not what happens.
Right.
That's not what happens.
Right.
It's not, right? Or I have a problem at this church, so I'm gonna switch other churches. Things are gonna, no, you have a problem within yourself, right? And I think the moment for me when I realized, wait a minute, I keep blaming other people. I blame my wife. I'm blaming my parents. I'm blaming my job. That was the hardest thing I think I ever did, was like sit in the mirror and look in the mirror and be like, I was like, no, you might be the problem. Did that happen to you? Yeah. What was that like for you? Yeah.
Exact same thing. Exact same feeling. It's like what's going on, right? I'm sitting in my room in the middle of the night,
Yeah.
wondering, why do I keep putting myself through these same
Yeah.
patterns?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you have examples. You have people that are around you that are doing better in following a path.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
How come you're not accepting what it is, or getting to the part where you make the step up and
Yeah.
grow from it, right? There's all these lessons that are put out there in the world that you should be progressing and learning from. Why is it stopping right here?
Yeah.
And then majority of the time I'm spending all this time alone,
Sure.
and I'm in my head majority of the time.
Everybody is. That's
Yeah.
the biggest battle any man will face is being in your head.
Mhm.
That's the biggest battle before you go to war or fight or whatever. The biggest battle is in your men. And here's the thing that I like, women. If you're a woman listening to this, I know it's a men podcast for men, but if you're a woman listening to this, and I want you to speak on this, like, you need to understand that, like, a lot of times when like you ask your husband or your boyfriend, is everything okay? And they're like, yeah, everything's fine. It's not. It's not.
Mhm.
It's not. It's just that sometimes as a man, we don't understand how to communicate to you. And we know that if I tell you, hey, I'm having an issue with this, it might seem minuscule to you. It might seem so small, but you don't understand the battles that we're going through, and those issues, if it's childhood trauma or whatever it is, they compound over time. And a lot of times I think most men uh would just rather say, I'm okay, babe, or I'm just tired, and not want to talk about it. Right. Would you agree with that? Or?
Well, in my experience, it's been considered excuses.
Yeah. Wow.
It's an excuse. It's an excuse. That's
Yeah.
an excuse to be not growing.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
it's an excuse that you don't have a job.
Right.
It's an excuse that you are not better in your relationship,
Right.
or that you're not more communicative. I don't know.
Communicative. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But just being real with what it is.
Yeah.
And it's rough.
How does Marissa deal with that with you? Like with this, like we've been with our ladies for so long. Like my fiance now, like when she goes, how you doing, Papa? And I'll say, I'm tired, Mama. And she goes, no, you're not. And then like what she does is I'll lay down and she lays down right next to me.
Mm-hmm.
She won't do nothing. And she'll just hug me and kiss me and ask me, do you want to talk? And I'm like, no, I'm just tired. She goes, you're not tired, Papa, but I'm here. And she just lets me. And then after a few minutes, I might start crying. I'm like, okay, I have an issue with you, or it's
Right.
or yeah. But she took the time to learn my style of like when I'm depressed or when I'm dealing with stuff, and she waits and she learned, and then sometimes I'll just say, I don't want to talk right now. She goes, okay, and she gets up and she leaves me. Right? How do you and Marissa deal with that? Like does she understand when? Because I can't even imagine now that you have you walk around. I'm sure, like you said, like people, hey, you're the power, right? Like
That's it.
right, like you're walking around, and people know you, and you're traveling, you're doing all this stuff, and you are an influencer now, and the stuff when you start doing that,
Right.
badass. I was like, okay, I'm about it, right? And how does that affect you? Or I guess the better question is, how does Marissa take care of you? How does she take care of you when you're going through? Because here's what I know. Even though I beat depression, I still get depressed sometimes, but I'm not depressed, right? We still go through depression. We still have those feelings of being overwhelmed, overburdened. You had a long day training. Now you got to go speak, or you got to do this and that. Like, what's one way that your wife takes care of you?
So there's an age gap between me and
Yeah.
Marissa.
Yeah.
So you know, obviously more experience,
Yeah.
right? Being out there in the world.
Yeah.
She has a better understanding and a better grasp of what's happening, what's going on.
Yeah.
And even with me being at an older age,
Yeah.
I still have a childlike mentality.
Sure.
So when she it's the mom.
Yeah.
Marissa becomes my mom.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
really trying to push and tell me, hey, look, like it's gonna be okay. Things are gonna be fine. Get out of your head. And that's my biggest thing, is that I'm addicted to the pattern.
Yeah.
I go back to the thing. Oh, you don't know what you're talking about. Oh, you don't know what you're saying. You don't understand. You don't know what's
Sure.
happening in my head. And I mean, I mean it. Realistic, I mean it. Like,
Yeah.
you don't understand what's going on in my thoughts and all the other things, but I just don't know how to approach
Yeah.
what it is. So it sounds like I'm battling you,
Yeah.
but reality is that Marissa is the better half.
Yeah.
She's the one that has.
Usually the women are.
She
right?
has
Yeah.
that straight line.
Yeah.
Look, this is, and then coming from her family,
Yeah.
the traditional.
Sure.
The mom, dad takes care of all the stuff, right? He's the alpha. He is supposed to provide. He's supposed to do this. So me not having those type of examples
Sure.
as I was growing up, and then for somebody at this point in my life, being 37 years old,
Yeah.
telling me, hey, you're doing everything wrong, you need to do it this way.
Yeah.
And then I go, well, tell me now, right? Like, I mean, I've already lived my life.
Sure,
I've
yeah.
already done things that not proud of, whatever
sure.
it may be. I've gone through all those experiences. Who are you to tell me,
Yeah.
right? And I'll put up a wall.
Yeah.
And I really put it to that I just don't want people looking in my life.
Yeah.
I don't want people to pick and prod and try to dig deeper and deeper and deeper, because it does do something to me where
Sure.
I get to have an outlet, and it's therapy, and I get to talk about things that are going on, but there's still that little boy in me
Sure.
that is like, nah,
I wonder.
I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to.
I wonder if that little boy, Andy, you still have the little boy inside of you? Yeah. I here's my contention is that every grown ass, because that's what I do, is I work with men, and I counsel men and I lead men. And one thing that I found when men open up, because, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, I can't see that change in you, right? We can't see that change.
Mhm.
I could see a physical change. You're not 13 and 5'2", right? You're not. So physically, I see you grow.
Mhm.
But mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, you could still be that 10-year-old kid, right?
Mhm.
So my belief is that most men, unless they intentionally work on themselves, which I don't think most people do. Most people stay at a level with their EQ and their IQ, and they just stay there, right? You can't really raise your IQ, but you can definitely raise your EQ by like 50% if you work on it. And so I truly believe that most men walking around, the majority of men, 95% of men, are like little boys in grown-ass bodies with, and I don't want to use this word immature, right? Because it's like, oh, immature. They just haven't raised their leadership lid, their physical, or their emotional, mental, and spiritual lid. They haven't raised those lids, and they're stagnant because they haven't grown past the trauma, or they haven't begun to heal.
Mhm.
And so you talk about like strong men like you and I, right? Like physically we're strong. I'm a black belt and I do Muay Thai and do all these things, and you do all you train and you do all this stuff, right?
Mhm.
Physically we're imposing men, right?
Of course.
But I would, and I'm gonna give Rose her flowers right now too, because I wouldn't have made it to those early years if it wasn't for my ex-wife.
Mhm.
She was, her,
Yeah.
she, as much as sometimes I wanted to strangle her, she's a strong woman. She's a
Mhm.
strong woman. And the girl I have now, my fiance now, different strengths,
Mhm.
but they make me who I am.
Mhm.
I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be leading men. I wouldn't have the gym. I wouldn't have the podcast. I wouldn't have the speaking engagements. I wouldn't be the leader that I am if it wasn't for these strong women. Who would you be without, if you didn't have Marissa? Would you say the same thing? That,
I would still be running amok.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
way crazier.
Yeah.
At this point, it wouldn't be as crazy as how it started
Sure.
in my early 20s.
Yeah.
But I definitely would still be going down that same path
Yeah.
of just not following what the rules are. You know what I mean? I'm a rule breaker.
Yeah.
I need to always have some kind of chaos happening in my
Sure.
life
Well, because
to
you're so
to
used
make
to
me
chaos,
feel.
right?
Yeah.
You thrive in chaos. Like you're like, but because you're comfortable with chaos, right?
Mhm.
And then what happens? Something beautiful happens when you realize that that's not how we're supposed to be, and when you start living outside of chaos, and you realize like, oh, wait a minute, we're not supposed to live like that.
Mhm.
When you find that, it becomes something really beautiful. When we talk about depression, what does depression look like for you? Is it silent? Is it angry? Is it rage when you deal with depression, or when you were dealing?
It's a mixture of both.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely silent. I go quiet. I shut all the doors.
Yeah. Shut down, right?
I stay right here in my zone, in my head, my thoughts, my process, all that stuff happens here. And if you were to ask me a question and be like, "Hey man, you good?"
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome, bro.
Yeah.
I'm doing fine, perfectly fine. But reality is that I'm not. Inside my head, I'm constantly killing. I'm fighting and battling dragons,
Yeah.
the angels and demons,
But
figuring out who I am.
I love that, man. I love that you said that word dragons. I don't know why why did you say dragons?
They're a they're a creature that really doesn't really exist to the normal person.
Yeah.
They don't exist, right? But they actually are real.
Yeah. So
Don't make me cry.
I would
Don't make me cry.
no. So my fiance would always tell me like, what are you fighting? What are you fight? Like, what are you fighting? Like, and I put two lines right here, right? Not to look good or anything. I put two lines and she goes, why do you put those lines? I go, it reminds me of the dragons that I fight. And at first she thought it was a joke. And it's interesting that you say that. I wonder if more men think like that, because when it comes to like depression and anxiety and fear, those are dragons. Those are demons. And I would tell her, I fight dragons. Like, and I would tell her, like, I'm a dragon fighter. Like, I'm a dragon slayer. Like, I fight my battle, especially when I was going through my addiction, because I just didn't deal with my cocaine addiction. I was dealing with severe hypomanic depression,
Mhm.
right? Plus anxiety, the trauma of being molested, because I didn't deal with that till 3-4 years ago.
Mhm.
And then the breakup of my 20-year marriage, and realizing things that happened. And I was getting attacked on all fronts. And I tried to explain to Fabiola that, like, the worst thing I'm fighting are my dragons.
Mhm.
And when you said that, I was like, wow, I wonder if other men use that terminology, because it's like you said, they're not real, but they're fucking real.
They're real.
Yeah.
They're real. The thought of the dragon isn't really real, right? Like it's a mystic creature, but the reality is that they are real, and especially when you relate it to something like this.
Yeah.
It's your inner demons.
Yeah.
It's a constant battle every single day. The battlefield's within, and you have angels and you have demons, and it's you. I think the crazy part about life is that we were blessed with the ability to choose.
Yeah. Yeah.
And choice.
Yeah.
So you choose whether to be the demon.
Yeah.
You choose whether to be the angel.
And that's what it is. It's a choice, right? I remember I listened to Jim Rohn a lot. And for those of you guys who don't know, Jim Rohn is the guy who actually taught Tony Robbins. And Jim Rohn says, easy to do, easy not to do. Get up in the morning, it's easy. Staying in bed, it's easy. You get to choose. Both are easy, right? Both are easy.
Yep.
Eating that candy bar, easy to do. Not eating it, easy to do. Why? Because it's just a choice.
It's a choice.
It's just a choice. Until I started like understanding the power of choice, the power, like, I have the power. I think we grow up with this idea of like, who here has ever said this? You made me do it, right?
Mhm.
It's your fault.
Mhm.
It's your fault I'm in jail. It's your fault. I hate you because you got me mad. No, right?
Right.
It's like, how well can you control your emotions, right? A lot of dudes in jail because they couldn't control their emotions,
Mhm.
right? I went to jail because I couldn't control my emotions. And it's like learning to understand. Most people know this, right? I can make my own choices. Who doesn't know that, right? It's a different thing understanding that you can make your own choices, right? Knowing you make your own choices and understanding how that actually works, those are two different things. Once you step into understanding that, like, wait a minute, I can let my emotions control me right now and rule me, right? Or I can let my logic rule me, and like, in making those choices for me, I don't know about what it was like for you, but when I was dealing with my addiction, I was doing 2 8 balls a day.
Mm-hmm.
I did 2 8 balls a day for 3 months straight, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I should have been. I would eat twice, so I would eat twice.
Mm-hmm.
I was doing 2 8 balls a day. That's 7 grams of cocaine every day for 3 months straight. I should be. The only reason I'm not here is because God had a different plan for me, right?
Correct.
I was doing so much coke, I wasn't even getting high. I was just doing it to numb. I didn't want to feel. I wasn't even getting high, but I was numb. I didn't feel nothing, right? Because I was in so much pain, emotionally, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I realized I've been trying to get clean for like 20 years, 15 years, like 8 months clean and just
Yeah.
partying.
And you put it off.
Yeah, right. And what I realized was this, that when I was trying to get clean, I wasn't really trying to get clean. I was just trying to substitute my cocaine addiction for working out more or going to work more or spending time with my girlfriend more or pornography or something or party, right? I never fixed it. And most of us, when we have an addiction, we never really want to fix it. We just go to another addiction. So I'm going to stop drinking, but guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to go to the gym every day. That sounds cool, but you never fix your addiction to drinking or your addiction to cocaine, right? Or your addiction to pornography. I'm gonna stop watching pornography, and I'm gonna read my Bible every day. Okay, I get it, but you're not fixing what's causing the addiction, right?
They say you replace it with good habits.
Yeah, yes, right? And so if you don't understand what got you there in the first place, right? This is gonna end when you stop reading, because what ended up happening is I did that for a long time. I'm gonna start reading, going to church, and then I'd be like, you know what? I've been coming to church for like 2 years straight. I'm good. I'm gonna skip a couple of days, a couple of weeks, a couple of months.
There's that mindset,
right? Then 6 months, then a year, and then what happens? I'm right back to pornography, to coke, to all the right, because I never fixed that first thing. For me, I realized. For me, this was my point was. I was in a hotel room just doing coke, right, and wanting to kill myself. I hadn't eaten for like a week. I was a mess. Like I was a junkie. Like I was like. Very few people knew me like that, but I was a junkie. Like I was 1 foot in the grave, Papa. And I had tried to quit on my own, and I just knew I couldn't. And I said, okay, God, I busted this prayer. I was like, okay, God, if you're real. Meanwhile, I've been saved since I was 13, but I was like, I'm like,
if you're real.
I had no idea. I was like,
the sign.
I was like, if you're real, I'm going to give my drug to you. I can't do it on my own. I haven't used it since, right? I was like, I can't. When I realized I couldn't do it on my own, right? And I was like, God, if you're real, I'm gonna give it to you. I'm gonna release this addiction to you because I'm trying and I can't. I'm trying and I can't, and I haven't used since. You know, for you with your addiction, what was that final? No, was it the birth of your kid? What was it for you? Like, what stopped you in your tracks where you're like, I'm done, never again?
So I've dabbled. With a bunch of drugs.
Yeah.
And obviously the main gateway drug is weed.
Yeah.
Right, marijuana, and obviously progressed to cocaine.
Yeah.
And I've tried, crystal.
Yeah.
And the feeling that you get when you are in power.
Sure. Superman.
Sure. And then when I recognized that my patterns, they started to evolve and they started to change into, now I became like all the other people that were going through the same addiction and the same process. It's like, that's not where I want to go with it. Right? And this was at an early age. This was through my teenage years that this stuff was happening. And I mean, I kind of pat myself on the back for recognizing what was going to lead me down a very bad path at an early time, especially with all the things that already was going on in my life.
Yeah.
And it's the snowball effect. This is going on in my family with domestic violence stuff, and abuse.
It's never one thing, right?
And then I'm over here trying to numb myself up with all the drugs, just so that way I don't have to really face all these things and bring them to the forefront of my mind.
Yeah.
And I mean, I would just sit in that. And even now, like the addictions never go away.
Sure.
We're always going to be addicted to something. Like you said, there's going to be good things that you're going to addicted to. There's going to be bad things that you're addicted to. And I realized that I'm slowly starting to eliminate the things that I'm very strong on. Like, I have an addiction to gambling.
Yeah.
It's real.
We're going to talk about that right now.
Yeah. But it's real to me.
Yeah.
And that was the product of the environment.
Sure.
I come from a place where chicken fighting is a normal thing.
Yeah.
And people backyard style
Yeah.
build up the fences. Let's put some money on it.
Yeah.
Your chicken versus my chicken.
Yeah.
Like that's a normal.
In Hawaii, you guys put the razors on the chicken too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a normal thing. There's backyard gambling. There's dice games. There's
Sure.
all kinds of stuff happening. So it was already instilled in me from before.
Sure.
I'm going through all that stuff.
And so, and then when you get like you said, you made like a comment like you're still a little kid, but it's like we're little kids in grown ass bodies with money now, right?
Right. Yeah, there's a
Yeah,
change. There's a change.
yeah.
And the one change is that now
You got
now
money.
you got money in your pocket.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Now, now it's not just chicken. So you're known as one of the best baccarat gamblers in the world.
Yeah.
What does gambling give you that fighting doesn't?
It gives me the same adrenaline rush.
Yeah.
Yeah. Me going up on stage, and I mean that's all it is, right? It's a gamble of you put your life on the line, and it's the same thing with
Right. Taking that money and
playing in the casino,
trying to beat the house,
Yeah,
right?
I try to beat the house. I got money. I'm gonna shoot it. Try to make it worth the dollar.
Yeah.
And if things go bad, things go bad.
Yeah.
If things go really good, well, okay. Well, now I'm gonna be here for another week,
Yeah.
2 weeks, and stuck in the addiction. So
So for you, is gambling about money or is it about the control?
it's about the control.
The control, right? It's
Yeah.
about winning.
Well, at the very beginning, I mean, even with the baccarat stuff, I started off as a blackjack player.
Yeah.
And I would play small money, $15, $25.
Dude, baccarat, I try to watch those things that you put. I can't play that. I'm like, I get lost, bro. When you're teaching people, I'm like
ripping
I'm
and tearing
yeah,
and
and
trying to
then I'm
show
like-
people how to do
and
all
then
that
you're
stuff.
doing all the little car there. All that.
Yeah. And those are just like those are real aesthetic parts to the actual game itself.
Yeah.
It's really a 50-50 game all the way down.
Yeah.
All the way
So
down.
that's
the
the
line.
best odds, right? In the casino, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much. You choose red, you choose blue, you put your money on it, flip of a coin. Yeah, your cards come out right, proper, you win.
Yeah.
Cards don't come out right, you lose.
Yeah.
And that game is actually really about money management.
Really? Okay.
Starting off with your bankroll, having the ability to be able to control
Yeah.
and try to dial. I learned a lot
Sure.
gambling
Yeah.
about trying to control the emotions. Don't get emotional.
That's good,
Don't get
that's
emotionally heavy and pot dominant.
Yeah.
Stay back. These hands are coming up, and with the game of baccarat, I mean, there's 70-something hands that can happen in one total of a
Yeah.
shoe. So you have the opportunity to sit there, watch what's going on, and this is where it clicked for me, and I can speak very passionate about
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Again, is that patterns.
Yeah.
My mind works different when it comes to mathematics and it comes to patterns.
So you could recognize the patterns, the algorithm on the board you could recognize that.
And just choosing, and here's a push back to the Hawaiian Assassin.
Yeah.
Is that was my gambling persona.
Mm.
I was the baccarat don. I would go all day. Hey, this is the baccarat don.
Yeah.
Ready to show you how to tear up these
Yeah.
cards or do something else. But the assassin was actually really there, because as you progress and as I started to learn the patterns and learn strategies and how to figure out where the next placement of bet was, I become the assassin. I would wait a few hands and bam, there it is.
Yeah.
There's my opportunity. Pattern looks perfect. This is
Yeah.
coming down here. That's only stopping at a certain amount of blues or a certain
Right.
amount of reds. I know that the likelihood of the next hand is gonna be a red.
Where you want it to
gonna be
Yeah.
a blue, and that's my shot.
What's the biggest like the biggest play you've ever, the most amount of money, not total, but like what's the biggest bet you've ever placed and won?
10,000.
So you played a one car or whatever, one game, call it a game or one hand.
One hand.
One hand, you won $10,000.
10,000. That's the biggest bet I've ever placed.
And then what was that like when you win that?
When I was playing at that time,
Yeah.
nothing.
Really? Because
No.
you're just locked in.
No emotional connection.
Right.
Because there's no. When I originally started doing baccarat,
Yeah.
I started off with a $3,000 bankroll.
Yeah.
And this is March 2021.
Yeah.
And I go into the casino. I had 2 jobs. I was working as a security guard for Allstate Security.
Yeah.
And with all the convention
Yeah,
stuff
yeah,
and
yeah,
all
yeah.
the homeless people that were and COVID was happening.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So I was big into that. And then I was working as a bail bond agent
Oh, I remember
for
that.
Aladdin bail
Yeah, I
bonds.
remember that.
So I was 2 jobs
Yeah.
and trying to make time to go to the casino and gamble to
Yeah.
perfect learning the skill that was
Yeah.
needed, which a lot of people are going to say there's no skill in
Well,
in
let
the
me ask that.
gambling
Let me
app.
ask that. Gambling is a skill, right? Like you're right. That's a skill. Like you're saying, right? You're reading the algorithm. You're trying to adjust. It's. I mean, I'm sure there's a.
Money management,
Yeah.
time management.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of factors that happen
Yeah.
when you're sitting in a casino. The casino will win overall
Sure.
if you stay there too long.
So you got to know when to get up and leave.
You got to know when to walk. You got to know when to take a break. You
Yeah.
got to know when the
Like
pattern.
Kenny Loggins,
when
right? Know when to hold.
They'll hold them, know when to fold them,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
But you gotta start raising your awareness,
Sure.
knowing that when it's bad, it's
Is that why you
bad,
get free drinks? Because they don't want you. Is that why the casino
Exactly.
gives you free drinks?
I mean,
Casino gives you free drinks, right?
Elias, I lived, and this I always when I jump on any interview, any podcast,
Yeah.
I try to explain to people, and it's so like a completely different story from what they understand. But from that time when I started with that $3,000 bankroll, I've touched 7 figures. And
allegedly, if IRS is listening,
Right.
allegedly,
in a good way, in a bad way, right? Because with that money there's responsibility,
sure,
and there's things that you should be doing and what you shouldn't be doing, and when you get that kind of money at a certain age or a certain time in your life, and you wasn't really making that kind of money, so I like I told you, I had 2 jobs.
Yeah.
I worked for a security company, I worked for Aladdin Bell Bonds, and then I quit the security company to make more time
sure.
to go to the casino and practice.
So on a given, what's your regular 4 hours at the casino at a time? 5? Or what are you doing like when you're going?
More.
Really?
My longest casino run binge, like actual binge, was 4 days
Straight.
People would bring food to the table. They would serve
Really?
drinks. Here you go, Pono. It's all good. I at that time, and not to sound cool, because it's not.
No,
It's not a cool thing. Is I was staying in the penthouse suite, the villa. I would transition. I lived there for 8 months.
Really?
Straight. Every week. Check in Monday. Check out Saturday. Check right back in on Sunday. Stretch out the stay. Oh, you can't get this room at this certain time. Okay, we'll put you in the presidential suite, and then when that room opens,
back in,
we put you right back in there.
So
and then I had specific rooms. Like
getting accustomed to that lifestyle must have been crazy.
It is.
Yeah,
it is.
Were you with Mama at that time?
Yeah. And just kind of going through it. And that's a lot of that chaos happens.
Let me ask something. Was that,
like that
because of the chaos? Was that maybe like your getaway? Was that your peace? Right.
Yeah, because it was someplace where it was the one time where my brain
can just focus on one.
Doesn't do all the craziness work and all the other things. And even if I was struggling on the outside, there, I dialed in. Once I clicked out of that, the struggles is still there.
Sure, doing push-ups, waiting for you.
But just waiting for me. The struggles is still there. Dude, I never made the attempt to try to take care of the struggle.
Sure.
I just said, man, well, I'm just really good at this game.
Yeah.
I could show up every single time. So my first big run at the casino was like $215,000. And that's starting from a $3,000 bankroll. That was March, April. By the time I hit May, it was an overnight run. It was 4:30 in the morning. My friend's sitting next to me, and he's like, bro, we need to go home. We need to sleep. He's like, yeah, but just one more hand. One more hand, bro. One more hand, and we got this.
One more.
We got this.
One more, right?
It went from me being a mediocre player, $25, $50. And when I lose $50, I would lose my mind.
Yeah.
Right? To being super numb at $5,000 a hand, playing for 10 hours straight, taking off $100,000 off the table at a time, 40,000, 30,000, and it just didn't happen in one casino.
Yeah.
Now it becomes, okay, well, they're starting to pick up on me now.
Yeah.
I need to go and move. I need to go to this other casino. So it was in multiple casinos that these things were happening, where I was just generating. It was the money.
Did you ever get kicked out? How does that?
Yeah.
They just kick you out because you're winning. Is that what happens?
I'm banded for life from Viejas Casino. They will not allow me back on the property.
So if you showed up, right? Let's say when you become the power slap champ, and you show up to go party at Viejas, they'd be like, sorry. you can't come in.
So this all happened before power slap.
No, that's what I'm saying. But like now, when
Now?
you right when
I don't know what I don't know what the acceptance level would be, but at a point in time, they just wasn't really messing around with me.
really,
I mean, and there's some gamblers out there like
Sure.
Ricky
yeah.
that
Did you ever meet that guy?
I've met him once
Yeah.
at Sequan,
Yeah.
and then after that it was just ghost town because I mean he's gambling everywhere. He's always
Yeah.
somebody's else. But that was the one time that and not even really like shook his hand.
Yeah.
It was more I sat there watching him play at the baccarat
Yeah.
table, thinking that I would learn some kind of pattern or
Sure,
strategy
sure,
that he was
sure.
trying to dish
Yeah.
that he wasn't telling anybody.
Yeah.
And then when I saw that a lot of the stuff that he is implementing in strategy, I was already doing.
Yeah.
Because that's how I scaled. I went from a small bankroll, and that's probably where the whole the acceptance of how much money you're getting.
Sure.
Dude, I really didn't care if I lost $5,000, $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 in one sitting, $40,000 in one sitting. Whatever, it's all good. I'll get it back. I'll get it back. I'll go to this other casino and I'll crack them at the other casino. I'll go over here and I'll do this. Or at that time, obviously, like with Viejo's casino, they had very good comps.
Yeah.
Their compensation was solid. So with COVID happening and getting high limit players in there and trying to really build it up, they were giving away everything. So it's like, okay, now you can get money off of comp points.
Yeah.
You can get money off of time. The amount of time I sit on it.
Oh, really?
Yes. It's a baccarat program. They created a baccarat program. 10 hours. Every 10 hours, you can go back and your average bet, whatever you were betting for that 10 hours, you can get that in free play chips.
What?
So if I play 5,000 for 10 hours,
Yeah.
and that's my average bet, they're going to give me $5,000 in free play chips. The double. When you're sitting on a table for that amount of time, they clock you in. Your point system, they have an app. Your point system goes up. So maximum at that time was 5,000. You can cash that out for real money. I can go and trade out right now, 5,000 here, boom. Oh, if I have 5,000 in points, bam, give me that. 5,000 in store comps maximum. And because of the way that I was playing, that was a freaking weekly thing. That I could go and get 5,000 in free play, 5,000 in store comps, 5,000 in
So when you
points.
say store comps, whatever they're selling at the store, you could just
Louis Vuitton, Gucci watches, Gucci purse, clothes, jewelry, whatever they have in their little comp
they just
store.
want you there. They want you there.
Their main job is to if not get your money,
To keep you there, right?
keep you there,
Yeah.
right. Get your money if you already been losing and taking all that stuff. So your pocket money, the money that you make outside, or if you've won, to get it back.
Right. Okay.
Because they want to go in your pocket. They need to get in your pocket. And whatever they have to do to get there, they will.
What's the biggest lesson? What's the biggest life lesson that baccarat or just gambling in general has taught you?
Patterns, learning patterns, and just the way that things fall into place. I think overall, baccarat has really taught me. It's kind of given me like a blueprint of. I have all these little sayings in my head, of like, oh, this is this and this is that. But like baccarat has given me like these little things to be aware of and to watch out for. And I've applied that.
Like the blind spots that maybe you wouldn't have seen before.
And I applied that to life. And I try to apply it to life. And I saw how that it really did. It coincides with what was happening. If I'm too hot and I'm getting hit, they're taking my money away from me. Well, dude, I gotta be able to stop. There's got to be some kind of patience in you. That's where I learned patience. Trying to learn patience at least. Learning patience, learning all these other things. So
when was the last time you hit the casino?
So I've actually stopped gambling.
Really?
And haven't gone. And
how hard is that for you?
Honestly, reality is that the bankroll isn't there anymore.
Okay.
So that's I mean, obvious. I would go back in there. Obviously, being a more dialed in player.
Sure, yeah.
If I had the bankroll, I'd go back there and I would be trying to do. During that time, when I won all that money, it killed me inside.
Sure.
And I thought that it was going to make me better, and it didn't. It made me worse. And then it made me numb to a lot of the things that was going on in my life. And I said, this is my answer. This is the way that I need to go. I wasn't addicted to drugs anymore. I would smoke marijuana, I'd smoke pot, but I just wasn't addicted to all the other things that was happening. And gambling was my one outlet to be able to go in there and kind of sit down and really get in my head and really do the work. And I've had some of the best times that you would think
Sure.
when you talk about pleasing the flesh,
Sure. Sure.
but when it comes to the spirit,
Yeah. Empty, huh?
dead,
Yeah.
empty inside.
Yeah.
Money has no value when it comes to spirit,
Yeah. That's good.
and it can kill you. It can really kill you when you put all your effort and your time. Same thing like this, like with Power Slap. I put a lot of effort into understanding mechanics, understanding movement, right, and trying to become that version that just is. It's such a brand new sport
Yeah.
that you know a little bit about a little bit, you're gonna know more than the average person
Sure.
that's there. So like that, same thing with the gambling. Gambling was I knew a lot about baccarat. I could say, and then it became more of not knowing about baccarat, but now knowing how casinos work.
Sure.
Inner operations of how the casinos work, inner operations of how the comp systems work, and how you can leverage certain things. And it just became this like new toy.
Sure.
Oh man, I can pick
Yeah.
up, I can learn all these other things.
So you're mastering something new now, right?
And
Yeah.
and I always had that point where they would be like, oh, well, man, you're really good at this, so you're winning all this money and you're doing so
Yeah.
good. Reality is that yeah, I'm free rolling on the casino because I
Sure.
started off with a small bankroll, and now that I have
You're on
six,
house money.
now that I have house money, I can move it like that. But I was really killing myself on the inside because I wasn't really focusing on what was needed. Was the immediate change, and I don't call it as it's a blessing
Yeah.
that you get all this
Sure.
knowledge, and
Sure,
then
yeah.
all of a sudden you get all this money. It was a curse.
Yeah.
It was a curse because it didn't teach me responsibility.
Yeah.
It didn't teach me that, man, I have a family that I have to take care of. I have a son that's 3 years old, 4 years old, 5
Yeah.
years old. Where is your mind at? You're supposed to be taking care of these things and doing all this stuff.
Yeah.
And the addiction to the flesh
Yeah.
caused me to drift.
It's a hard thing to beat.
It just caused me to drift far away from who I wanted to be and what I wanted to be for my family.
Let's switch lanes. Let's talk about Power Slap. Now,
Let's do it.
now we've trained before. We've trained. You came over and did some Muay Thai. You are fucking heavy-handed dude,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that's with me being able to move, right?
Mm-hmm.
What does it feel like to knock a man out? So first of all, who's the guy that you knock out? The one that's all like you slap, he just drops and you're like, yeah, that guy. What's his name?
Devin Jenkins.
Okay, Devin Jenkins.
So that was actually my first match
Okay,
that I had off the season.
What does it feel like to knock a man out like that and not have him hit you back? Like not being in a fight. Like you've trained before, you fought before. What is that? What's the difference of like having a man stand there and you get to slap him, and then having you stand there and he get like, what's that like? What's the difference between that and like an actual fight? Like what goes through your head? Like when you know you like, how do you not move? Like how, like what is that goes through your mind? Like what is that feeling like?
I mean, I've had this question asked so
Yeah.
many times. What goes through my mind, and every time I see somebody, nothing's going on in my head at that moment in time. I know that I have to take the slap.
Is there, so obviously I see you doing the techniques. Is there a technique like to brace yourself, or give us like a real quick rundown. Like when someone goes to slap you, what are you preparing for? Like, are you bracing your neck? Are you stepping into the punch? Like what's going on? Like what's the technique there to like not get knocked out?
So because of me having such a passion to,
Yeah.
obviously addicted to patterns.
Yeah.
Right. So I've realized that like you have your standard person that kind of goes up there. It's like the backyard type
Sure,
slap
yeah.
style bar, right?
Yeah.
Like just swing your arm, hit the guy,
Sure.
make sure you land on his face. It's
Yeah.
all good, right? But as I progress, I've learned that there's small little nuances that
Sure.
that you can implement in your movement that will help you stay grounded, help you have a better base. We work within the rules without breaking the rules.
Sure.
And that's typically what this is that there's certain things that you can go out there that's not going to count as a foul, that's not going to count against you when it comes to points, but that you can implement in your movements that will get you to obviously have a better percentage of
Sure.
standing after that hit
Yeah.
and being able to go out there and deliver one. So positioning of feet, your grounding.
Sure.
I've picked up, and this is like recently within the last like 4 months, 5 months,
Yeah.
Tai Chi,
Really?
grounding.
Yeah.
Our body is made 60%, 70% of water.
Yeah.
Hydrostatic pressure. Being able to push the pressure from top to bottom and thinking about your feet being rooted as like a tree would
Yeah. Yeah.
causes your neural
Okay.
to live in the body that you're trying to create.
And so you become stronger.
So you become heavier.
Yeah.
You become more balanced, more stability. There's a grounding that happens.
Yeah.
And when you take away all that thought process of what's going on, what's happening, and you feel more grounded, you become more relaxed.
Okay.
And even in this sport, you don't want to be relaxed where it's loose,
Sure.
but you want to be relaxed where your body
Fluid, maybe? Fluid.
the key to this sport is fascia.
Yeah. So you know, it's funny that you say that. I had a guy I train every last Sunday of the month with a bunch of my black belts. I had this guy show up. He's actually a purple belt, but he works only on fascia. So he goes, after the class was over, he goes, I want to talk to you guys for like 10 minutes. I'm fucking tired, bro. Like, nobody wants to hear it, right?
Right.
He goes, I'm not just going to talk to you guys. I'm going to show you because nobody wants to listen. You're tired, right? So anyways, he had us do this thing, right? Push in, make the muscle push in. I couldn't use my bike. I couldn't do this. I couldn't do this. Long story short, he came. I've had three sessions with him. I'm going to have him for the rest of my life. I couldn't move my arm. Like, I didn't have no blood flow. So the first time, because I've been doing jiu-jitsu for 30 years,
Of course.
there's no blood flow. Everything's locked up.
Yeah.
The first time he worked on my bicep and my forearm, I couldn't believe it. My forearm blew up like it was the size that it should have been, right? The blood flow was I was like, I couldn't believe it. Like, and all he does is work on my fascia. So that, like, talk about what are you doing with that?
Yeah, so fascia is the web
Yeah.
that surrounds everything,
Yeah.
surrounds your muscles, surrounds your bones, and that's where your elasticity happens.
Yeah.
Right? And when you think about you're delivering a slap, it's the rubber band effect. You want to have that snapping whip effect.
Yeah.
It helps you with your
Not the rigid, right? Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
So when I look at this, I look at it 3-step process. You know, obviously you got to get accuracy, you got to
Sure.
get power, and you got to get speed. But there's a pecking order.
Okay.
Accuracy is number one.
Right. Where are you trying to? Are you trying to hit the jawline?
So I mean, just like on your beard line
Yeah.
there, you have a square
Yeah.
that's where your hand is supposed to land. The center of your palm
Yeah.
should hit the center of your cheek.
Okay. Yeah, that makes
So
sense.
that's where the landing happens.
Yeah.
It's here.
So you're
and
not
you-
trying to slap their face, right?
Yeah, you're not, and that's where fouls come into play. Where
Oh,
you got-
really?
it's
Okay.
called clubbing.
Okay.
You go too high, you hit the top of the eye. It's
Yeah.
clubbing. You hit too low, you hit the bottom of the neck. Clubbing. You go
Sure.
too deep, and fingers are behind the head.
Yeah.
And you're hitting base of palm
Yeah.
to the actual
It's
like
gotta be
mandible.
dangerous. Yeah.
And it's actually at a point it's actually easier to take a hit when the mass of where the target is
Yeah.
getting hit is more braceable.
Really?
It's actually easier.
Okay.
The where the we all know what the button is, right?
Sure.
That is the spot or the area that is acceptable to getting that juggling feeling in the brain.
Yeah.
It's the snapping feeling. It's
Yeah, okay.
when you have placement lower on the jaw and it gets that hit and you're pushing the chin to the trap.
Yeah.
That
Okay, you're trying to
snap,
put okay, that makes sense.
The snapping feeling.
Yeah.
I want this to be jelly
Yeah.
when I hit you,
Right.
because then that will shut out all the lights.
Yeah.
It will.
Okay.
It makes you drop. It makes you.
I saw you. Are you still working with that mad scientist? What's his name? The
David.
David.
Yeah.
Is it
Rec method.
Okay, that dude is insane, right?
He
Like,
is.
I see him like. So I have a friend, Naudi Aguilar, and do you remember Naudi?
Yeah.
so-
Functional
yeah,
patterns.
functional pattern. I love that, bro. But they were having like some internal conflict online,
course.
and that's how I learned about him.
Mhm.
But there's a lot of jiu-jitsu because I think he trains jiu-jitsu also.
I don't know.
Yeah, I
don't
think
know
he
if
does.
yet.
I think he does. I think he used to train with Salo. Anyways, because a lot of jiu-jitsu guys were going to him,
Mhm.
and some of the stuff he was doing was like, I was like, all like super functional. What is he working on with you?
So same thing. It's,
Yeah.
because the WEC method is based on rotational movement.
Yeah.
And
And
natural.
he makes his own. He makes his like own devices and
Yeah.
stuff, right? Yeah,
Training aids.
Yeah, I
Training
love that
aids,
about it. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, he has.
Shout out to, you want to shout him out real quick? Shout him out.
David's a solid guy.
Yeah,
I mean, that's like the mad scientist.
Yeah.
You know, he's
He
very
looks like one too.
he's very chaotic in his
Yeah,
head.
yeah.
But I mean, that's typically what is needed.
Yeah,
for
for
something
genius, right?
Well,
Yeah,
yeah, to become a genius.
yeah,
So yeah, David's been really solid. Like,
That's
and
cool.
once I got introduced to the WEC method,
yeah.
I realized that these things can be used in power slide.
Yeah. Okay.
He has that coiling core. It's very locked inside, hiking of the hip, elbow driven to the hip here, and all it is just creating a spring load effect.
Okay.
On one side of the body, you have the lengthened side, you have the spring loaded side, and the more you spring load here, right, engaging the lats, engaging all whatever's happening in here, that is that propulsion you need to be able to knock people down.
Okay.
Just from that rotational movement. And then he's up with just like functional patterns. It's natural human movement.
Yeah.
How the body is supposed to move. He's taught me about the eternal flow of things.
Sure.
Right?
The way you're supposed to really walk, right? Movement, right? All that. Yeah.
Understanding it a little bit better, it's like the pronation and supination. How to create this effortless flow back and forth, because that's how your body naturally really kind of moves. The gait.
When
right?
what I found, like when you guys that like lift traditional weights, like bodybuilding weights, like they walk stiff, like they walk like with a stiff back. They don't walk how they're supposed to. Like we don't, like we've gone away from walking like we're born to walk, right? Because the stupid stuff that we do.
Yeah, so you stray far from how your body is naturally supposed to
and then
move.
we come up with all these injuries, right?
Yeah, and a lot of that stuff is understanding fascia.
Yeah.
And how fascia works, because you gotta have a good solid, and you know they work on more structural.
Yeah.
So like how the bones are set up, right?
Okay.
Structural stuff.
Yeah.
And obviously using the fascia is part where's the elastic side of it, where you can David works with a whole bunch of athletes.
Yeah.
Like you have a lot of the UFC people that go there.
Yeah.
I saw Wilson there just recently.
Oh, okay. Was it Hayes? Yeah.
Cat was out there.
Oh, I love Cat.
Angie. So they you know, they're there.
Yeah.
And you just have to think about it, right? If people that it's their job to understand movement, if they're there,
sure,
that
you better be there.
The system's working.
Yeah.
The system's working, and you can clearly see in their movement and the way that they operate. So now, when you get into a sport that doesn't have that understanding at all, well, now you become that person.
You're the step ahead, right?
Yeah, you're leaps and bounds. You're ahead of what's going on, just by understanding movement, understanding pattern, understanding fascial training. I picked up another training that I do is DWS. It's a dynamic workout system.
Okay, what's that?
Marv Marinovich.
Oh shit! All neuroscience stuff, right? That's all the nervous system and everything, right?
So it is now part of my daily workout routine, outside of just going to the gym and working out there.
Where'd you how did you get hooked up with that?
I've saw it on YouTube.
Yeah.
And this was just me going into the rabbit hole of like movement. Okay, fashion.
So are you got a program from him, or how does that work? What are you doing with that?
Yeah. So I literally, there's, you know, I don't know if I should be saying this, but there's YouTube videos on there that you can literally watch. And when you understand what works, I mean, he's trained Troy Polamalu.
Yeah.
BJ Penn, when BJ Penn was at his prime.
Yes.
And then
he even built some of his own things too, right? Like the balls and all that stuff. Yeah, I remember that.
Well, I mean, David Weck is the inventor of the Bosu ball.
Oh, really?
He's the inventor of the Bosu ball.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And now they have the one where it's a little bit more stiff. It's called the Bosu Elite.
Okay.
So he has a real good understanding of that stuff. But with Marv, he did a collaboration with Dr. Hoyce. I don't want to murder her name.
Yeah, sure.
But Dr. Hoyce, I think is her name. But they do yoga ball work.
Okay.
And it is key.
Yeah.
For opening up, stretching.
Yeah.
Learning how to use and manipulate the weight, going back and forth, explosiveness.
One thing, like when Marinovich came out with Troy and all those other guys, like people didn't understand that, because like those metrics, the metrics aren't like you can't write down those metrics but like regular Americans, like you can write down the metric of how much I bench,
Yes.
right? But they don't work on that. They work on the nervous system. Like that's I think
Nervous
they were
system.
saying they actually kind of got that from like the old Soviet Union training that they worked on, right? And
That's
that's the that's the bread and butter.
And if you go on YouTube and you go to look for that video, as soon as you pull it up, it's got the FBI.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, it's got the deet, deet, deet. And then you look at you're watching the video and you're like, dude, this is like 1990s.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
okay, is this really gonna work?
Yeah.
And then I start watching the movements.
They were way ahead of their time.
I see the fluidity and how and I mean, a lot of it's hand positioning in this sport. Your hand conditioning, your wrist conditioning, and they are doing that.
Yeah, dropping the weight and doing that one with the weight.
I'm swinging with my arms. My main objective is to swing with my arm when it comes to hitting somebody. So anything that has to do with figuring how to make this a well-oiled machine to be able to deliver a powerful hit. Well, yeah, I'm gonna take that on it, right? I'm gonna take that in. And so try to be ahead of the game, at least 2-3 steps ahead of what people are already training and learning.
That's an essential part.
Yeah.
Let's switch lanes again. Did you have a man who taught you how to be a man? Who was that figure for you? Who taught you how to be a man? And if not, how did you learn?
I didn't.
Yeah, learned on your own.
Yeah.
Did you have some type of father figure, an uncle? Who was that? Anybody like that in your life?
I mean, I've had my dad has always been in my life, but I learned from just watching and seeing that he's a good man. He'd go and he would work. He was the hard worker, 9-to-5 job. He was a master plumber at Clay Mechanical. And same thing with my mom. She's a very hard worker, groundskeeper. She worked in park and recreation for all her life and kind of gained that from my grandma and my grandpa. Yeah. And my dad, and this kind of goes back to, and this is just me in my feelings, in my emotions, is that I really didn't feel a lot of love come from my dad.
Sure.
My mom loved me. I was spoiled by her. I was the baby. So she took care of me as best as she possibly could and take away from my brother and my sister to be able to provide for me. Right? They would stay home and watch me if I didn't go to school. Yeah. They would stay home from school to watch me. So my dad, as much as he would really try to teach us like gaining a trait, doing plumbing, carpentry, taught my brother them carpentry, how to solder pipes and do all these other stuff. Even though he was doing that, there was no real like, this is the guideline of this is what a man looks like. And this is how it's supposed to be. So I really didn't have that, and I really put that towards. For a long time, I would say this is that I just wasn't his blood. Yeah. My real family is from Big Island, and that's and he knows it. Yeah. He knows that. So, not having that love that you would have for your real son, your real daughter, happening with me. So I always felt like I was shut out from a lot of the stuff. And even when I was growing up, I wasn't as much as I could be smart, I wasn't fast. Yeah. Like, oh, you don't know how to read a tape rule? What's wrong with you? I just like, it's not working, bro. Yeah. And he's like, you need to start learning these things. You're not going to teach me. You're not going to sit there and teach me how to do all that stuff. But you're quick to tell me you need to start learning.
That you're doing it wrong, right?
Doing it wrong. So my dad, as much as I just already have that like deep inner feeling that he just didn't love me like all the other kids. And it's different now. Sure. I have a better relationship with my dad. I talk to him about, obviously the power slap stuff, things that are going on in my life. And we have different conversations about like, sports, weather, and everything else, right? He's really big on those things. And it's a completely different dynamic.
When we get older, I think there's a better understanding of like, I think for the most part that we understand our parents did the best with what they could. Yes. And with what they had, right? Like we only see what they show us, right? We don't see their issues, their problems, right? Because a good parent will at least try to keep the problems from their kids so we don't see them, right? Right. Sometimes that leaks out, With that being said, what kind of dad are you trying to be? First of all, your kid is the most handsomest kid in the world. Right?
Thank you. Like, it's not for me. It's definitely not for me.
Mama.
Yeah,
you like mama, right?
Yeah. We always have this conversation that my son looks like My brother,
Oh, really?
my real blood brother,
Okay.
has that real tall,
Yeah.
scary, long
Beautiful
face,
eyes,
dark
everything.
skin.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got the hair,
Yeah.
But I mean, that we always say is like he looks like my younger brother
Yeah.
clearly more than he does me.
Who are you trying to be for him?
The provider, the protector, and it's like I got to be real with myself. Is that I've fallen short in
Sure.
a lot of those areas, being an actual like dad to him, and I mean, I put it on myself. I put it on myself for dabbling into trying to figure out my identity at the same time while having a
That's
child.
hard.
I have a daughter.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, and she's 17 years old, and she lives with her mom. They live in Florida
Yeah.
now, and I haven't seen my daughter since she was probably like 3 or 4.
You communicate with her at all, or no
I
communication?
recently after season 3 Road to the Title,
Nice.
I did
Okay.
get into contact with them, but this is the big but is
Yeah.
that I've done a lot of things
Sure.
in my life that are not acceptable,
Sure.
and it's completely understood when you get to that point where your daughter's 16, 17 years old, and when she's on the phone, she's trying to find the love that was there at 3 years old,
Right.
but understanding it in the 17-year-old,
With what's going on in her mind right now.
whatever's happening with her and the situation she's
Yeah.
gone through or whatever it is, and me as a father trying to understand what is happening with her, and you want to ask, but you don't want to confront what's going on because it could open up so many doors. And I don't know. And she was 3 years old when I was gone. When I left, and I'm just scared.
Yeah.
Scared to hear the truth from her. And then when
Sure.
even these last couple conversations that we've had was not good ones, right? Bad dad, not there, not present. And when I was at that point, I was like 24 years old, I moved here to San Diego. I really was like trying to just get her back in my life. And I put all my focus into just trying to get her back. And then I end up doing the same things that I was doing before
Sure.
to try to supplement what's going on, and then get stuck in a part where, I mean, I was trying to deal drugs and trying to, if I deal drugs and I get this money, I can pay for a lawyer and I can go back and I can fight this. If, and then it just was never there. I got stuck, and it had to do with, when we went through child custody and trying to battle for custody, that I made a call when I was living here in San Diego, like, hey, okay, I got a court date. I got to sit on a Zoom call because now I don't live there anymore. And we got to go through this whole entire process. And it broke me, Elias. It broke me to sit there and listen to people that don't understand where I came from, don't understand what I'm going through. And to just be like, nah, you're not a good person, bro. We're not going to let this person into your life. You don't even know how to take care of yourself. And it broke me. I just started going deeper and deeper.
Some people will always look at guys like us, and they'll always see the broken version of us.
Yeah.
Right? They'll always see the broken version of us. Something that I understand is that, like, nobody deserves the broken version of us, especially ourselves.
Yeah.
Right? For the longest time, guys like us, we look in the mirror and we're like, I'm broken and it's okay because this is just how I am. But we don't deserve that broken version of ourselves, And unfortunately, I think because we live life like that for so long, people who aren't close to us, they just know us, or they used to be in our life, right? They're like, Pono's always gonna be that guy, right? To me, I'm always gonna be like, I had this guy a while ago come in. He was a detective, and he came to the gym with some kids, and a bunch of kids were gonna come to the gym, and he goes, I want to have a meeting with you. And I was like, yeah, sure. I thought, like, so he has a meeting with me, and he goes, I'm thinking about bringing my kids over here, but I want to talk to you. And I was like, and I had no idea why he was doing that. I just thought he was like gonna check me out because I'm the professor. Well, it turns out that I guess it's illegally, he wasn't supposed to do this. Like, he heard about me and he ran my jacket, right? And I have all those things on my thing.
Yes.
And the only reason I know that is because one of the other parents was like, hey, this guy is telling all of us, 'cause there was a group of families that were coming over from another gym. It's like, this guy's telling us all what you did. And the guy already knew about about my past, but like he was like dropping like specifics, like what I have on on my sheet.
Yeah.
And I was like, really? And I was like, that happened years ago, right? I was like, okay. That 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 really opened my eyes to understand. And you know, check this out. And then it ended up happening that guy's kid ended up becoming like a really good jiu-jitsu player, and then instructor somebody else. And then that kid like touched some girls and got in trouble, right? And then I seen dude later, and I was like, went to go shake his hand, and he wouldn't even look at me because of I took it as like the embarrassment of him talking shit to me, but his kid, yeah,
Trying to put the light on you.
yeah. But I was like, what? I was like, whatever. But I said all that to say, like, dude, some people will never forgive us. Some people, right? As long as we forgive ourselves, right, and know that Father's forgiven us, and whether you ever have a relationship with your daughter or not, you have to be okay with you first, right? Like there's relationships like honestly, I hurt Rose so much, you know, and we hurt each other, but I as the man, right? It goes Father, Son, Holy Spirit, then me, and then my wife, right? And I when I counsel people, I tell them, man, like, it's your fault, like, because you're covering your wife, you know, like whatever happened here, it's the man's fault because to the extent because you're the covering over your wife, right? And I look at like all the things that I did, man, and I hope one day that I would be able to have a relationship with her in the sense of like, hey, our kid's fighting, let's go, let's you and your new husband, me and you know, and we can go sit down as a family. And but I don't think that's ever gonna happen because of the way because of the hurts that I've given her, right? And I think there's people that we've hurt or that feel like we've offended or whatever that are always gonna look at us that way, man, and we're never gonna be the person that we are now, right? And we have to be okay with that. I think, you know, we just have to be okay with that. And I think if you continue to work on yourself, hopefully the prayer and the hope is that one day your little girl or, you know, your baby girl sees you as like, oh, my dad did change. Because that's what it was for my kids. Like Elijah didn't talk to me for a long time. He didn't want, because of the divorce or because I was dealing with my addiction. Ryder was always with me. Like he understood and he just loved me as his dad. But my older one was like his mama's boy. So he was a protector. Like he was taking care of his mom. He saw that his mom was hurt.
Yeah.
He didn't talk to me at all. And even when I started to change and I got clean and I started to find my way, it was like he didn't believe it because in his head, all his life he saw me fuck up. All his life he saw me doing like he didn't know what that was until he got older. He's like, oh wait, my dad is doing drugs. You know what I mean? Like that, like then all of a sudden he's like, wait a minute. All the stuff that I saw my dad when I was younger, that's what that was, you know. So it was hard for him, but I stopped trying to change them. This is how it worked for me. I stopped trying to look at me. I'm better. I just became better, and then I let the Holy Spirit, you know, work on that, man. And that's a tough thing to do. That's a tough thing to do. What's the biggest mistake you've made as a man?
Not accepting the things that I've gone through and kind of pushed it down. And put it away and kind of hid it away for all the other stuff and not confronting what was really going on in my
Why do you think we do that? Right, because right.
Just
why do you think we do that?
Just
Scared,
scared.
yeah.
I'm scared. You don't want to get to that point where it's like the skeletons come out the closet and the truth is really there, you know. So it's been like that for a while, that just like you put it, if I can just kind of hide it away and that doesn't ever become a conversation and that never comes up, then I can focus on the person that I'm trying to create, the person that I'm trying to be instead of the person that I was. So we kind of grasp onto living in the past and having those things kind of follow us into what it is now, instead of, like you said, being able to confront it, address it, know what the fix is, and then try to work on doing that.
I try to live by this, like, not even a mantra, but just like do the hard things first, right? Do the hard things first, because if you don't do the hard things first, you're gonna have to do the hard things later, and they get even harder when you do them later, right? And I've only like, I wish I could be like, I've been living that way my whole life. I only started doing like about a year ago, right? Because you're gonna have to do it anyways, you know. And one of the things that I've been able to cultivate is like having hard conversations with people. And like I've lost 45 pounds in the past year, because I've really understood what like discipline is, like denying like denying like the immediate gratification, right?
Hmm.
I don't eat sugar anymore. I was like, when you stop doing coke, I did donuts. Like I went from doing cocaine to doing like 2 dozen Krispy Kreme donuts a day, and it's like, well, at least I'm not doing cocaine, right? But that's not how life works, right? You're still affecting your body, you know. And for me, discipline, like let's go back to the choice. Discipline is a choice,
Hmm.
right? Discipline is a choice. So what does discipline look like for you in your life, mentally, emotionally, physically, like what does discipline mean to you? Like, and how do you share secondly, how do you show your son what discipline is?
It would be hard for me because I had a lack thereof.
Sure, yeah.
I don't have I don't have a good understanding of what
Mm,
I have a very surface level of what
sure.
discipline looks
Yeah.
like.
But it's a start. Yeah.
And being yeah, I would explain it as getting into a routine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Being able
Yeah.
to create a routine for yourself so that way, go through a checklist. I do it with power slap, I do it with movements, with the defensive side of
Yeah.
it, with the offensive side of it. I tell everybody that I've talked to about, getting better at their technique or
Sure.
getting better at their defense, is you create a checklist,
Yeah.
and you have to kind of go through the checklist, and there's no skipping steps.
Yeah.
Because when you skip steps, then you already put in your mind that you've already bypassed that. You don't need to go back
Right.
and fix it. And it takes one weak link
Yeah.
to make the whole entire structure go down.
Yeah. Yep.
So figuring out, and that's how I would kind of put it towards discipline, is that getting yourself into an actual routine of what it looks like to kind of stay on a set focus,
Yeah. Yeah.
instead of having all these dabbled ideas and
Sure.
go.
Is your mind scattered? You got a scatterbrain
I
something?
do.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's because I try to envision what I can be living in now, what I could be living in later,
Sure.
and where I've been before,
Yeah.
and having these things just kind of pop up and great ideas come in, and then they're like, okay, well, this is now we got to focus on this,
Yeah.
and then I mean squirrel,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it just goes a
Bro,
completely different route, and then I'm like, oh, okay, well,
what
maybe that idea is dead.
one thing I've learned is that as a universal principle, like one discipline will lead to another discipline, right? So I love how you said like you're just starting off being like surface level. That's still start. Like you're still starting off, right? And like your son's gonna see that. He's gonna see you. Dad has to go train. Dad has to do this, right? And then the preparation before you go and compete, right? He sees that. I'm sure that even though you might not be showing him directly, indirectly, he sees, oh, my dad is an athlete. My dad is preparing, right?
Hmm.
And so what are, let me ask you this secondary question, like what is one place in your life that you need to work on your discipline?
In the mind.
In the mind? Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Because physically, I know that I can push
Sure.
myself to go out there, and it's the easy grunt work, right? It's
Yeah.
like I'll go and pick up weights and go sling it around.
Yeah,
and
sure.
So you physically can get prepared, but where I need the most help is in the mental stability, and being able to understand that there's a process, and how to identify the things in the process
Yeah.
to get better.
Yeah.
There's point I can do more identifying of all the bad things that you
Sure.
can go down. It's a lot easier to do
Sure.
the bad things than it is to do the good things.
Yeah.
But realizing that there is a process.
Yeah.
There is a process to getting from this level to the next level to
Yeah.
the next level, and growth and everything else. And it takes time, patience, trying to have a better understanding of what's going on, and like Marissa would say, it's like living the reality,
Yeah.
of it. It's that you got to stop putting yourself into a different place.
Sure.
It's real,
Yeah.
and it's like, and if you can't do what reality is doing,
Yeah.
then what makes you think that you can do all these other things?
The Bible talks about being transformed by the renewing of your mind, right? Like taking your thoughts captive. For me, one of the, like I've always known that verse, right? But when I started to actually study that verse and understand what that actually meant, again, back to choice,
Mhm.
and we're constantly downloading something on our brain, right? And so like I would ask the viewers here, like how intentional are you with what you're downloading, right? Uh, No matter what you think, wherever you're at, the community, we talk about community, right? The community you surround yourself with, you're going to download something. The information that you digest, you're downloading something. like for me, I try to be as intentional as possible, like what I listen to. I used to think like, oh, I don't care, whatever music. No, for me, it's not. It has to be intentional because I'm downloading something. The podcast I listen to, intentional. The reading I listen, the reading that I do, intentional. Who I hang with. There's, the sad part, or maybe not the sad part. Maybe I should look like that. As I continue to invest in myself and grow leadership wise, I just can't fuck with some dudes anymore that I love. I love. They're my brothers. But I can't. I can't.
I can I understand that.
They got nothing. They can't give me anything. Like they're not. Like if at this stage in my life, I'm only 50 next month, bro. How old are you? 36, 37?
37.
37, bro.
So you're gonna be 38 this year.
Yeah, and I never. When I was in my 30s, I never thought I reached 50. You know, I was doing a lot of stuff, and I get to this point now, and I realize my dad was right all the time. Right, when my dad would tell me about like, hey, this guy's no good for you. Right, like I look at I take an investment, or not an investment, an assessment of my life like every 3 months. Who have I allowed into my life? Are they helping me reach my goals, or are they stopping me from my goals? And now if they're not helping me, I gotta cut them out. Like my time. People talk about like your time being the most important commodity that you have. I would believe it's not your time, but it's your energy. Right? As I get older, I realize that more. Like I only have a certain amount of energy. We both have 24 hours in a day, right? And it's like if I'm teaching a jiu-jitsu class of 30 people, they all get my 1 hour, but this person over here might get more of my energy because I'm showing them more. I'm invested in them more.
Of course.
And so for me, I have a limited amount of energy throughout the day. And if I'm giving that energy to people that are not helping me produce, or not helping me grow, or at least are not allowing me to help them grow, because we get those guys too, right? They just suck, right? Like I can't anymore, man. And I wish I could have learned that 10 years ago. I wonder where I'd be now, but I'm learning it now. You know, I'm happy about that. And that was probably one of the hardest things that I had to realize, is that there's just some dudes that were a big part of my life that can't be anymore. You know, and if I want to reach my goals and be successful, have a successful marriage, be the best father I can be, the best businessman I can be, the best pastor and leader, I have to be. My circle has gotten really small.
Yeah.
Right.
You gotta have the support system that kind of
goes
towards where the pinnacle is, the top.
And the higher you get, the more you invest in yourself. What I've realized is there is a lot of people around me that just didn't really care about investing. They're cool. They're chill, like being there, making X amount, living there, spending time with that person, doing the same thing over there. Cool with that. I'm not cool with that. Like I need to be, like I have a vision for my life. I have a vision for the gym. I have a vision for my ministry. I have a vision for this podcast, where I want it to go. So talk to me about like, what's one vision that you have for your family, or for Power Slap, or for maybe a side thing that you're doing? What's a vision that you have, and how are you trying to obtain that vision?
So with the Power Slap things, because it's so fairly new.
Yeah.
Any wave that you make in this industry at this point is a giant wave.
Yeah, it's big, right? Yeah,
it's huge. And you start to see like where the openings are that you can really progress in this.
Yeah.
So having a management company.
Wow, okay.
Having people that you're bringing all these strikers that are becoming in.
Sure.
Create a family type feel for these.
So now you have like a team, like a right? Like, okay.
So I think my biggest thing is that when I was on season 3, and going through those times and doing the combine and they do your neck stress score, they do your hand, like your hitting score, how high you can hit. And at that moment in time, when I'm in the hotel room and kind of just dealing with all these other people, like 30, 40 plus other strikers that are going to be either living in the house or alternate, I see it as my main goal was, dude, I'm just gonna go out there and be champ.
Yeah.
I know I got power. I know I got strength. So I'm gonna just go out there and just start knocking people out. And I get it. It's a common goal for anybody that's in a competitive sport. But it wasn't until I'm so grateful that I got to experience living in a house and doing the season than just being put on the show and building from there, because I got to understand that I'm not alone. And that there's other people in here that are living through the same struggles, through the same problems. And if not, this gateway to, Power Slap being the gateway is the reason why that they are trying to get out of their situation and get into a better situation. And then I sit there and I'm like, okay, well, I've gone through a lot of stuff in my life, a lot of adverse moments, and as much as I haven't conquered,
Yeah.
how can I put that information into these people,
Yeah.
and how do I help them by kind of releasing all the hurt that has happened to me,
Sure.
and try to help them.
Do you find yourself mentoring a lot of these younger guys?
Do.
Yeah. They're looking up to you, and
I
if
do.
they,
And you know, my
That's good.
one side of it is probably because I'm older than a lot of the people that are in this sport at this moment in time. There's only a handful of people that are in my age bracket. Everybody else is in their younger 20s and, you know, early 30s. And yeah, I've it's the what we talked about before. It's like searching. What are you searching for?
Right.
That's what I'm searching for. I'm searching for, man, if I had somebody that was just helping me from the beginning,
Yeah.
I would be so far ahead at this
Yeah.
point in time. Dude, I need to be that person for
For somebody else. Yeah.
these people.
Yeah.
I can see it. I can see people shutting down. I can see people going through addictions. I can see people having a bad criminal record. I can
Yeah.
see people having broken families. I can see the brokenness in your heart. How do I extend my hand and be able to kind of be the guiding light for you and show you where to go, right?
All it takes is one person to care about you, right? Like, especially when you're in that position where we feel alone, right? We feel
Mhm.
alone. You talked about that, being lonely, being alone, and you think, and you don't even care about yourself, right? You don't even know how to love yourself, and then, you know, I can distinctly remember like 2, 3, 4 guys throughout my life that like were older than me. For some reason I always hung around older dudes. I was always like the younger dude that hung around older guys,
Mhm.
and like them taking care of me. Not even my dad, but like an older person, and like realizing, wait a minute, this dude likes me or loves me for no apparent reason other than he believes in me for some reason, some way. Shit, maybe I should start believing in myself a little bit, right? Like, that's a powerful thing.
Mhm.
When especially when you are alone, right? The biggest lie the enemy tries to get us to believe is that we're alone, right?
Mhm.
Nobody understands my problem. Nobody understands my addiction. You don't understand what I'm going through in my marriage or with my relationship or at work. Meanwhile, we all go through the same fucking thing. It's the
Right.
exact same thing, right?
Right.
Like, that's why I have this men's life group, and it's like I'll talk to people. Like, I got a couple of dudes that were Muslim that would come in,
Mhm.
atheists. They're like, I don't believe in God. Cool. You got a boyfriend? You got a girlfriend? You have a job? Yeah. You have a problem. Come and check it out. We have,
Right.
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 We
Right.
we just sit down. We talk about problems, right? And when you understand that like when you can relate to somebody, being an older dude, relate to a young guy, like, man, I went through exactly the same thing you did, and I made it.
Mhm.
All it takes is like one lifeline, right? And for the one guy to like, here's what I've learned. As many people that come to me for help, most of them aren't really looking for help. But the one guy that is looking for help,
Mhm.
most of them just want to complain. Most people just want to complain.
Right.
They don't want to do
Vent.
they don't want to do the work.
Mhm.
Let's be honest.
Mhm.
Some of you dudes are hurting and you don't want to do the work to get better because you like being a victim. You know, victimhood is cool. You know why? Because people take care of you. Hey, let's go get a drink. Oh, how you feeling today? But that's not cool because you stay a victim. But for the one or two dudes out there that like really want to get help and really want to invest themselves and grow, like, you find dudes like us, right? And when you find that one guy, it's worth it, right?
Mhm.
You feel like what I realized is I went through all my problems. I did all that stuff with those guys and all these things, and God brought me out of it so that I could look back that same direction and that same dirty alley, that same right, and be like, shine a light and say, there's a light right here. Who wants to come get it?
Right.
Right. And that's what we're doing.
Right.
And that's what we're doing.
Yeah. And going back to what the question you asked is that's what I'm trying to create. I'm trying to create the things that I didn't have a lot in my life that I didn't see. You know, like, as much as my mom and my dad them were there for us, I want to create that family vibe, family feel within something like this, that people can come to you and ask you questions and kind of all the things that you didn't get.
Yeah.
They can ask you questions. They can talk to you about stuff. We can sit down. We can have conversations about things that doesn't pertain to power slap.
Yeah.
So the overall goal is to really create this community and become a mentor, become a coach. That's what I'm pushing for every single day. Is like, I want, I mean, I've done so much to try to push it down power slap's throat.
Yeah.
Is like, hey, dude, get me out there.
Yeah.
I don't care if I'm on the stage, dude.
Yeah.
It
Talking to at-risk youth, right? Going to school. I mean, that should be the next step for those guys, is like reaching and utilizing this platform that they've built,
Mhm.
right? And like, and I'm glad you're pushing that, because some people are just probably there just to be there, right? Like, to try to, like you said, to find themselves. But like,
Yeah.
when a man like you understands your purpose and you start to walk in your purpose, you understand your identity, and you're like, hey, put me out there. What are they? Are they listening to you when you say stuff like that? Are they thinking about that? About doing things like that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, very open to all the ideas,
Yeah.
and I mean, it's not like they haven't had somebody else
Sure.
try to do the same
Sure. Yeah.
routine.
Sure.
But I to myself, it's, but you haven't had anybody like me.
Yeah.
You haven't had
Very
anybody like
charismatic,
me.
good looking, right? Been through it, all of it, right? And yeah.
Right. And it's not about the money.
Yeah.
It's really not about the money when it comes to this. Is I've fell in love with something,
Yeah.
and it's not about anything that I can benefit from. It's what I can add to that can make other people realize that they are, they can do the same things that I can do. We are not different. We are all human. We can all make the change. We can all find growth. We can all do these things. And I'm very strong at that point where I'm shoving it down their throat.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care about stage time.
Sure.
I don't care about being on the stage with these people and, oh, hey man, if you just pull your hand back and
Yeah.
you kind of focus a little bit more.
Yeah.
Dude, there is no amount of coaching that you can do on a power slap stage with technique
Right.
that you think that that you can master that.
Right.
There's nothing there.
Right.
It's real. Go out there, bite on your mouth guard, take the hit.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead. That's it.
Yeah.
That's
It
reality.
comes down to it, right? Yeah.
But where they're missing is that you're not teaching them all the different facets of
Yeah.
all the parts to build that.
Yeah.
You're just telling them to go out there and, oh yeah, go ahead, take a hit,
Yeah.
take this up. But you're not working on their mental state.
Yeah.
You're not working on their
Do
physical
they
state.
give you guys like access to sports psychologists and stuff like that, or do you have to do it on your own?
So I mean, because we're all under the umbrella of the UFC,
Yeah.
so we do have access to those
Nice.
types of things.
Good. Okay.
But obviously, if, it takes you to reach out.
Sure. Of course.
Right?
They're not, yeah.
They're not going to be like, hey man,
Yeah.
they're checking in on you and trying to keep tabs.
Of
It
course.
has to be you.
And again, that goes back to a person understanding that they need the help. A person understanding, right? And there's that stigma of like, if people find out I'm talking to, I do counseling every Friday. I counsel people, and I get counseling myself. Like, I'll do that for the rest of my life because I need somebody to mentor me. I have mentors in every area. I have mentors too. Like, people, I'm so proud of you, man, because people need to understand that. And if just one person gets it, then that one person gets it, right?
And how I say it to everybody is that I'm helping others, and in the same return, I'm helping myself.
A couple more questions and then we'll be done, so you can get back home to your family. What are you afraid of?
Failure.
Failure? What kind of failure? Are you more afraid of failing your family or failing your dream?
Mixture of both.
Or both?
But more of, and now, having more of a spiritual connection, that knowing that I have a purpose,
Yeah.
and knowing that I could fall short from that purpose by the things that I'm doing.
Have you forgiven yourself?
Honestly, no.
No. Yeah, we got to work on that. Because you're not going to move. And thanks for sharing that, because that's a big platform to share it on. Like, until you forgive yourself, that's when healing starts, when you start to forgive yourself. And here's the thing, God's already forgiven us, right? And so
of course,
when you have to be able to let go, and that's a process. I'll pray for you for that too, because man, when you learn how to forgive yourself, that's a powerful thing. Do you love yourself?
I do.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Loving yourself is powerful, but you got to work on forgiving yourself, because that's going to hold you. You're going to hold yourself back, and when I did those two things and started working, it's a process. It is a process, but it's something that is very freeing, and it allows you to live, because if not, you're shackled to the dragons of our past. God's already slain those for us. I'm gonna talk right here at these guys right here. So you can be dangerous and disciplined. You can be savage and saved. You can knock a man out and still build a legacy. The real fight isn't across the table, but we've learned that the real fight is within, and how you battle that is going to determine if you're successful or not. Pono, I want you to imagine, you're going to look right here, that one, that's yours. I want you to imagine you're standing in front of a mirror. Not as the Hawaiian Assassin, not as the ranked heavyweight, but just you. Just you, just Pono. Now, I want you to look in that mirror and speak directly to the man who's battling addiction, battling depression, battling identity, maybe gambling away more than money, maybe losing his family, and maybe losing himself. We're going to end it with this, Pono. What does that man need to hear right now?
That man needs to hear to grow up. Really get out of your thoughts and get out of your emotions and get out of your feelings. Start to pay attention more to the things that you do really care about. It's like you said, family, people that are around me. I have an amazing son that I should be pouring my love into him as much as I possibly can, because he is the person that's going to carry on the legacy later on down the line. And what we don't provide him with now, he will suffer later in the line. And I've learned that through my experiences and kind of going through my life, and that even at this age, 37, 38 years old, I'm still suffering and still haven't made that connection to who I truly am, what my identity looks like. And I've dabbled in really understanding what purpose really looks like, and the things that I do even now at this point aren't acceptable to get to the level that I want to be at. So if I was looking at myself and telling myself what I need to do differently, is I need to not give up on myself.
Powerful.
I need to not give up on myself, because if I give up on myself, I give up on everybody else. Because other people have more faith in me being who I am than I do my damn self.
We'll get there. This has been your Grappling with Grace with my good friend and brother Pono, the Hawaiian Assassin. Look forward to seeing him become the champion, become the man that he's destined to become. And we'll see you guys next time. Thank you, guys.